Live from Greenwich, Connecticut, you're watching the greatest classic car show in the entire Northeast, the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance on BeTerrific. Welcome, Terrifics, to your live coverage of the Greenwich Concours d'Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. I'm Michael Artsis. You're the Terrifics. You make BeTerrific special. You're watching on BeTerrific, BeTerrific.com, and many other syndication partners, including the entire Cumulus family around the nation. Thank you so much. We love you guys. At BeTerrific TV on all social media. So this is a car show that is really unbelievable. Yesterday was the American cars. Today is the international cars. If you missed anything, you can go to BeTerrific.com to watch either the live loop or, of course, you can go see the archives there. And I'm here with Maureen, who's got a 1927 Bugatti. And I have to be honest, I don't know that much about 1927 or 20s Bugattis, but I know that every one of them are beautiful. And you've got a very, very beautiful car here. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's a 1927 Type 37A. The A stands for supercharged. I don't know why they chose an A instead of an S, but in Germany it's called the Compressor Club. So, but it's a Type 37A, and it has a nice racing history in Italy, and it also was probably the second 37A made.
Wow. So I think people know Bugatti today mostly from the Veyron, the EB12, which came out in the 90s. But this is what Bugatti was about forever. And when I was young, this is what you sought after, was a Bugatti like this. And it's just so beautiful, and it's got some racing heritage, which is great. Do you drive it?
Yes, but I was not that successful this time. I drove it with the Bugatti Club. As you can see, there's quite a few of us here. The Bugatti Club had a rally on Thursday. It was 2 hours up and 2 hours back. I did 2 hours and a half before I had problems with my clutch.
How hard is it to maintain the car?
Like anything that's old, I mean, it's going to almost be 100 years old. There's always something that needs tweaking.
When you drive it, is this something, I mean, this is a race car, but is it something that you drive at like 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, or are you driving this at like 50, 60, 70 miles an hour?
And when I'm on the road, I just follow the speed limit as best I can. I don't have a speedometer, though.
So you have no idea?
No, if I get pulled over, I use that. It only works sometimes as an excuse not to get a ticket.
Have you gotten a ticket in it?
No.
Well, so you drove this the other day, and then you had a clutch problem, and I imagine it's really hard to maintain at this point.
I get a lot of help from the Bugatti Club guys. They're really good to me. They once I was on a rally and the magneto failed, and Tom Clifford, who's very active in our club, had an extra one, and the guys went upside down with their head down and their feet sticking out and replaced it with Tom's magneto so I could do the rally, and then at the end they took it out.
That's pretty cool.
So I get a lot of help.
So walk me through this. Is this would be how you shift? This is an e-brake kind of thing?
That's a brake, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And
It's an H form. First is near me, and second, third.
so it's very much like a Ferrari. First is down, or an older Ferrari. Now
Right.
they're all up here.
Exactly.
But it's first is down, then second, third, fourth, and then
Exactly.
reverse would be over here.
Yeah, you push the button in.
Oh, you
for
push the
reverse.
button. Yeah. Wow, that's super cool, and it's an H pattern.
Yeah.
All the way back then, they had an H pattern. That's pretty cool. And then
Well,
this
Bugatti was ahead of his
this is
time.
the emergency brake.
Yeah,
And can we see the engine?
sure.
This is absolutely
Yeah.
stunning.
Maybe we can get Christo. Come on. He can show
He
you.
could walk us through the engine.
Yeah, and he's a really good speaker.
Well, you're a
Would you
really
mind
good speaker,
being on
too.
TV and telling a little
I'll
bit
stand in the
about the
background.
engine.
I can stand in the background a
He
little
was
bit.
my co-driver when we did the rally and the clutch failed.
So what did you do when the clutch failed?
Well, we tried to limp along and shift without it, but it was too bad at that point.
You could technically shift without a clutch by matching revs. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, you can, and it's doable, but it's not ideal for the gearbox. And actually, what was happening was that the clutch was not disengaging, so and then it was slipping, so that even when in gear, it was. And to adjust the clutch on this car is relatively easy, but there were a few other problems that sometimes you have to say, We have a sweep car for a reason.
This is pretty cool, though, and the fact that it gets out on the road, that's what I love. I mean, the idea that I like the idea that you drive cars. You don't just look at them.
That's what they're meant to be done.
Yeah.
These are pretty much all of the Bugattis that are here today get driven. I mean, not every day, but this car has been, the guy who owns this has owned it since he was about 22 or 23. That car has obviously done the Colorado Grand. You've got a car down there that Alden Sherman has owned since the 50s. He's the third owner. And you know, when he bought it, it was a 20-year-old car. It was a used car. So that's what they're meant to.
They're meant to be driven.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's it like to drive?
I don't know. How would you describe that? Difficult? You have to be aware. Unless you're as practiced
Well,
as you are.
like any old car, it's a very different experience. It's obviously a very physical experience. They have everything is mechanical. So you're in direct connection with all of it. It's exhilarating, I'll tell you that. It's a lot of fun.
And I asked Maureen how fast she thinks she's gotten it up to, if she drives it at like 30 or 40, or if it's like 60, 70, or even 100. And she said, well, it doesn't have a speedometer. I don't really know. So if you had to guess, how fast have you guys driven the car?
This car will do 85 or 90.
And you've done it?
Not in Maureen's car, but...
He has his own.
Our car, which is very similar to this but doesn't have the supercharger, will do 70, 75. And this car, Paul drove this down yesterday from Danbury on 84, and he was on the interstate.
I've never seen one on the road. Where do you guys drive? I gotta see this. I mean, because I'd lose my mind if I saw this on the road.
No, we have all kinds of. I mean, we just did 2 days of driving yesterday and the day before, and the silver car over there, that's a Type 51. It's a twin cam 8-cylinder supercharged car. That's a 120 mile an hour car.
Yeah, that's what I said. Mine was a smaller version of that one, so you'd probably get a picture of that
maybe I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe in a few minutes we could get you to kind of walk our viewers through every one of these.
We can try, yeah.
That would be great. I think it's nice your kids are here. It seems like a family thing. I mean, Greenwich Concours d'Elegance is about family and is about giving back, and it's a wonderful event, but it seems like your family kind of bonds around cars.
Yes, and I consider the Bugatti Club my family too, because every time I have a problem, they jump right in to help.
Well, absolutely. Wow, I'm looking at the cockpit. It's so amazing. Do you wear like a helmet when you drive it?
No, but a lot of people wear leather ones with goggles.
Yeah, like goggles. That's what I'm.
Helmet.
Yeah.
Most of us either just wear a baseball cap or.
Yeah. Oh
or
my
nothing.
God! So what's the torque like? I mean, it was a race car, so does it have like good torque? Do you feel like you're going? I mean, I've driven old cars, not this old, but I've driven old cars. I have no idea what this would feel like driving.
No, they're a pretty torquey engine. It's they're fairly high revving because it's 1500 cc, so you're doing 3,500, 4,000 RPM when you're really moving along. But there's a good low end torque. So some of the 8-cylinder cars, there's one down there that was famously you can start from stop in 4th gear.
Really?
You can pull away without moving.
That's unbelievable. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, and that car, they drove it up on 95 today, and yeah, he said he was doing 60 to 75, and it'll do that all day long.
I love that you guys all drive these cars. I mean, and not only you're keeping the car culture alive. This is history and it's art, and you're keeping it alive. You guys are like protectors of it. I love it.
Well, that's what it's.
That's the way a lot of people feel like they are. That they're just part of the history of the car, and they take care of it to pass it along.
Yeah, we're custodians.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. The Greenwich Concours d'Elegance on BeTerrific.